In this video, I'm going to demonstrate and show you how to take data and create a histogram analysis of it. So we're using the data gathered here with our Lego brick measurements. We're going to make a copy of the data and put them into a new spreadsheet page. I'm going to start by collecting or just selecting everything in this first column here and copying it. And then going down here to make a new worksheet and then pasting it there. Just to clean it up a little bit, I'm going to delete these extra columns or extra rows where we had cleaned out some of the data previously. Then we want to calculate several pieces of information. We want to calculate the minimum value in the data, the maximum value in the data, and the range in the data. For the minimum, we're going to use a formula equals min, which is the minimum formula, and select all of the data and press enter. And the same for maximum, max. Notice that when you start typing a formula after you press the equal sign, it'll find all of the matches that are spelt that are spelt the way you started typing. And you can use the arrow key to select which one you want and press tab to go on with the formula. And then select all of this data. And then the range is going to be the difference between the maximum and the minimum. So I'll just do equals and the maximum minus the minimum. So the data range is 15 thousandths, starting at the low value of 1.2459 and a high value of 1.2609. So what we want to create is a set of bins, which is going to be breakpoints, if you will, between the low and the high value, where we can group the different values in there. So we'll start with something that is just above the lowest value. We'll start at 0.1246, and that would include this low value then, because it's going to be anything less than that. And we'll go all the way up to something above the highest value, so we'll go to 0.1261, and we'll increment by 1,000ths, and that should give us about 15 bins. So I'm going to type in 1.246, 1.247. As long as I've got a pattern started, I can select both of them and then use the autofill button, autofill tab here, and it'll keep adding it up. I want to go to 1.261, just so it has just so it looks nice. I'm going to increase the decimal numbers so that we have 4 decimals. Now I've got the bins that these are going to be counted and placed in. Now I want to count how many of each value is in each of those bins. To do that, we're going to use a function called frequency in Excel. So equals frequency. Then I have to select the data array, which is the numbers, or the cells that contain the data. And then I have to select the bins array, which is the cells that contain the bins, and enter. And then to get the same thing in all of them, I can't just do the autofill. That won't work quite right. But what I can do is select all of these, and then I'll put my cursor up here in the formula bar. And then if I use the keyboard shortcut Control, Shift, and Enter, it'll propagate that formula all the way down, and it'll have the proper data array and bins array for each one. Alright, now that I have my data, I can create a histogram of this. So I want to create a histogram of this data. I'm going to select it. And histogram is really just a bar graph. So I can go to Insert, and I want to find, or a column graph. So I want to do a 2D column graph, and that puts that in there. You can see that there is 1 at the first value, 2 at the second value, none at the third value, 1 at the fourth value. However, these numbers down here, instead of just having 1 through 16, I want to label them with the measurement of the bins. So if I right-click on the chart and go to Select Data, the horizontal category axis labels, I can edit those and simply select all of the ones that are there and press OK, and that will then fill them in there.
I don't think we can do that.